While ETH meme coins burn, can ones on Bitcoin take their place? A VV competitor to launch Star Wars NFTs, and leaks about Amazon launching their very own blockchain. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the Crypto Gorilla YouTube channel. Today we're going to be taking a look at what's been going on in Web3 over the past few days. As usual, I'm not a financial advisor. None of this is financial advice. And if you enjoy this kind of content, would you kindly hit that subscribe button? So before we get into the NFT and marketplace stories, we have to talk about the downfall of ETH meme coins. I know a lot of people who missed out on generational wealth were rejoicing to see Pepe finally go down from its all-time highs. Now, to be fair to Pepe, Bitcoin, ETH, altcoins, pretty much the entire market across the board has been dumping, so it's only natural to see a risk-on asset like meme coins lose the most value as they are extremely volatile. Now, a few things I learned and observed from this meme cycle. First of all, never ignore a narrative. I heard about Pepe pretty early on, and it should have been a signal or a siren going off in my head, as this year has felt like the year of Pepe, since a ton of Pepe NFT collections have been doing really well. A few that I have an eye on or that I've invested in are going to be the Zogs by Matt Fury, who is the creator of Pepe, as well as the Notable Pepes by Vincent Van Dough. But because I never traded meme coins, I told myself I should just stick in my lane and focus on NFTs, which in hindsight was a huge mistake. I should have just followed the money and listened to people who have experience in this domain. Even within my own group, Gorilla Labs, some of them made multiple six figures by buying, holding, and even doubling or tripling down on their investments into Pepe. So always follow the narrative. The other thing I saw and that many people were upset about is there's a ton of scammers, or there's a ton of pump and dump groups that popped up, and they were essentially in the form of larger groups, whether it's hundreds or thousands of members, where the leaders of the group would buy a coin and then drop that coin in the chat saying this is the next one to pop off, and then it would typically be a 1 to 3 minute pump before it inevitably dumps. However, that team clearly dumped their bags during that pump, made some profits, posted their profits on socials, claiming it was the entire group that made profits, but it's pretty much just a few of them. And then people see this on social media, they FOMO, and then they have brand new money to dump on. Now, the other thing we saw a lot of was, of course, complaining about gas fees, especially people in NFTs, because nobody wants to pay $150 to mint a $60 NFT. So unfortunately, a bunch of mints failed, or a bunch of them had to delay their mint. But on a positive side here, a ton of ETH is being burnt, and this is really good because ETH is a deflationary asset, and you can also stake it, become a validator, and earn interest. And nobody loves earning interest on a deflationary asset more than the institutional investors. So I think it's inevitable that we eventually see some pretty big players becoming validators themselves, in which case they're going to have to try to purchase our Ethereum. Now, hidden in all the noise of Ethereum meme coins are going to be Bitcoin meme coins in the form of BRC20. Now, I still haven't fully wrapped my head around it. To me, it sounds like you're giving a brand new name to a Satoshi, and then you're selling it for more money just because it has a different name than a Satoshi. So pretty much alchemy and creating value out of thin air. However, if we hop onto Unisat, you could see there's a ton of them that have been inscribed. Ones that I was looking at roughly last week is going to be Ordi. This is the first one, so it has that historical value. I was also looking at Meme and Pepe on Bitcoin, but one of them did manage to make it to a centralized exchange, as Ordi was launched on gate.io. And when I was looking at it roughly a week ago, it was at $2.09. Right now it is at a staggering $16, and it did manage to hit all the way up to, I believe, $28, so almost a 10x. So this is definitely something I'm going to be keeping an eye on and doing more research on, because if more of these get added to centralized exchanges, they are going to absolutely rip. So perhaps in the future, I will do a tutorial on these, because unless they're on a centralized exchange, it is quite difficult to understand how to buy and sell these. So I just want to give a big shout out to both SAFS and Attract, as they are the ones who have been teaching me this and showing me the different tokens. Jumping into NFT news, we have a fourth collection being added to Blur's loan protocol Blend, and that is, as everybody predicted, going to be DeGods. Now, like I mentioned in my last video, if you can figure out which collections are going to be added to Blend, it's pretty much free money free in quotes because I can't guarantee free money. However, we have seen this for Azuki, we saw it for CryptoPunks, and for Miladies. All three of those collections did pump once loans were made available. And if we take a look at the DeGods chart here on Blur, you can see it did exactly that as well. When I spoke about it in my last video, they were roughly around 8.2 Ethereum, and they did pump all the way up to 9.2 Ethereum. So if you did figure this out and get in on these early, it was potentially 1 ETH in profit. So I'm definitely trying to figure out which collections are going to be next. My guess would be one of the main ones, either Bored Apes, Mutant Apes, or something like Pudgy Penguins. Next up, I want to talk about a brand new competitor to Vivi, or maybe I shouldn't say brand new because they have done some mints in the past. However, they are finally on a ton of people's radar, as Cryptoys will be doing a mint for a Star Wars NFT. So the way these are going to work is you essentially buy a loot box because you don't know which NFT you have inside of it. Then when you open it, you get a packaged digital figurine, and you could choose to unwrap it or not. If you unwrap it, you will be able to use it within their virtual worlds. However, I'm not sure if this works like a physical figurine, where if you take it out of the packaging, it loses some value, or since it's digital, maybe you can put it back in the packaging. The drop is going to be happening on May 24th. There's going to be 15 different limited editions. The characters are going to be Luke, Leia, and Darth Vader. I do not believe they have released what the total supply is going to be. These are going to be on the blockchain, so they are NFTs. They're going to be on the Flow blockchain. They will be buyable for $40 a piece with your credit card, debit card, Apple Pay, and Google Pay. So they are trying to make this as simple as possible for the average retail investor. Now, I've personally never purchased anything from this website before. I have purchased on Vivi before, and it was pretty messy. It is a bot fiesta on there, and when there's a hot collection, it's pretty much impossible to get it. So I don't know if they have protection for that. I don't know how their website is going to handle the bots. I do hope that they did optimize it and they're not just trying to make as much money as possible. We did have issues during Reddit's Gen 3 avatar drop, so I do hope that this one goes a lot better. I'm not sure if you're going to be able to trade these right away. If we click on the marketplace tab, it does say the marketplace is coming soon. On the homepage, they also mentioned they're going to have 2 different tokens, so maybe you're going to be able to use these to buy boxes. You're going to be able to use these on their marketplace. I know they have a play to earn game, so obviously you are going to be earning one of these tokens in those games. And maybe they're going to have cool things like physical figurines where you can use the tokens to buy the physical assets. Now, speaking of physical assets, there's also been a ton of leaks last week about the upcoming Amazon marketplace. So we all knew Amazon was going to have a marketplace. However, there is some additional info in a lot of the articles. I'm seeing them mention dates around mid-May, May 15th, May 18th. However, from talks with my connections, these dates are false, and the Amazon marketplace is only going to be launching later on in the summer. Now, a few things we do know they are going to be partnering with different collections. Here you can see they already announced a partnership with Big Ink. They're also going to be doing the whole phygital play where digital assets meet physical ones. So you can buy an NFT and then you get the physical asset linked to it delivered at your door. Buyers are going to be able to purchase with credit card, with debit card. So just like Cryptoys, they are trying to make this as easy as possible for the average buyer or investor. Now, a major brand launching a marketplace is nothing new. We've seen a ton of them fail. We saw Coinbase NFT marketplace fail. We saw the GameStop marketplace fail. We also saw Instagram launch NFTs. However, they have rolled back that program. The only Web2 company that has been successful doing this is going to be Reddit with their Reddit avatars. And small side note, if you did try to mint the Reddit Gen 3 avatars, they are doing a free mint for you on May 15th. I'm going to link this in the description down below if you want to check it out. However, despite all those failed marketplaces, what interests me the most about Amazon is them launching their very own blockchain. So while a marketplace is cool and all, what interests me the most is a major player like Amazon seeing the value in blockchain technology and asset ownership through NFTs. I know a ton of people are scared of what's going to happen in the near future with the Fed rates and a potential market crash. It's normal to be scared. It's normal to fear your portfolio getting nuked. However, if we zoom out and we think more long term, mass adoption, in my opinion, is inevitable. I always come back to this thing I once heard. In the early 2000s, we had regular companies and we had internet companies. Now every company is an internet company. Well, right now we have regular companies and we have blockchain companies, but in the future, all companies are going to be blockchain companies. So it's extremely bullish that Amazon is joining the space. So although I can't talk about them publicly, I promise you there are a ton of major Web2 brands not only exploring and thinking about getting into Web3, but are actively building for Web3. They just haven't announced it yet. That's it for today's video. If you enjoyed it, be sure to give it a big thumbs up. If you enjoyed this kind of content, would you kindly hit that subscribe button, smash that bell notification. Thank you for watching the Crypto Gorilla. I woke my cat up. Peace.